So the trees have been in the ground in the orchard for about 2 weeks now, maybe a bit more. Let's see how they're doing. There's a couple ones that I ran out of cardboard last time, so we're gonna throw some cardboard on top to make sure that we suppress anything that's competing with the trees growing. I also restarted my locust seeds. I'm gonna transplant them into pots because last time I put them in what was basically sand, and I guess it just dried up and they didn't, and they just died, so I'm gonna restart that. I also changed my method a bit. I think they call it scarification. Basically, I sanded the external shell of the seed before soaking it so that there'd be easier time for the water to get in. And the seeds have expanded more than they did last time, so it seems like a good sign. I'm gonna plant them in pots, smaller this time, with proper dirt, not sand, and then we'll go from there. I also planted some directly at the orchard. If they come up and they work, great. If they don't, then I have a backup that I'm working on right now. And oh my, this lack of any real frost recently. These mosquitoes are just so happy right now. All right, so moist potting soil. So I have black locust. Fortunately, the black locust version does have thorns. I do have honey locust, which is thornless. So the pot that's black will have black locust, because it makes it easy for me. And then the green is going to be the honey locusts. So we started a lot of our plants in the basement under lights, and everything grew so well that we were running out of space. And looking at the forecasts, there hasn't been a real frost for the last month. Actually, there hasn't been a frost at all for the last month. Usually we have to wait until the end of May before we can plant in the garden, but we had so much stuff that we just decided, you know what? Whatever we have in quadruple or more, let's just plant it. And if it dies, we still have backups downstairs. Because right now it's mid-May and there might be a chance of frost in a couple days, but that's still just a chance. It's not even confirmed. So if they die, they die. If they don't, they don't. We'll just cover them as best as we can. Okay, so this is the honey locust. So I don't know if it'll show, but I used some sandpaper and I scorched the sides so that water would find its way inside better. And they have doubled to tripled in size, which is what we want. And I'm just gonna put 2 per pots. And whichever one takes is gonna be the lucky winner. And if the ones in the orchard end up taking, that I just planted in the soil, then I'll plant these somewhere else. And we have the same here for the black locust. Much smaller seed, but they also doubled in size. So it's just under the surface, just so that they're covered, and then I'll bring them downstairs and leave them under the grow lights, and I'll have a easier time keeping them properly watered. And this here, these are cranberries. Low bush cranberries. But the seeds are extremely small. So I'm just gonna try to put a couple in. I feel like all of them went in. Plant a couple, see what takes, see what doesn't take, and then the strongest shoots will survive, and then eventually will make their way into the orchard. It's pretty wild. I gotta cover everything, otherwise the mosquitoes just bite everything. I'm pretty happy with this anti-tick, anti-mosquito clothing. It seems to be working fairly well. I've been having a hard time sourcing hardware cloth that's bigger than 5 feet. This is a 25 footer, 1/2 inch by 2 feet. I would have loved for 1/4 inch, but finding it in stock right now, nearly impossible. Thankfully, it's very windy today. And mosquitoes are terrible weak flyers, so whenever it's blowing like this, it's giving me a little break from the mosquitoes. So I'll keep it about this size. I don't know how big that is. 5 inches across. And I'll just tie it up with zip ties, and that's just to keep little animals away from wanting to eat the bark on the tree. So I'm going to need 8 of these, and the easiest way is probably to use the angle grinder. Well, just need to do that 7 more times. Let's do a little walk around before I put the hardware cloth on. So here we have a honey locust that was planted. We'll see how they do. Over here we have a combo regular pears. Seems to be fairly happy. Sorry, I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes here. And then following that, on the right side, we have Northland blueberry, and here we have Saskatoon berry on the left side. Over here on the right side, we have Duke blueberry. On the left side, we have blue crop blueberry, followed by a combination apple tree that seems very happy so far. Lots of flowers. Then eventually, we're going to have a black locust that was planted here. And this is followed by wild raspberries that I found in the brush pile before cutting it. This one was happy with the transplant. I'm not sure this one is. And then we have Italian plum. It didn't look great when I brought it back from the hardware store, but looks happy now. Then here we would have a black locust again. This is the combo plum and apricot. That's the one that really looks unhappy. I'm not sure if it's going to survive. Then we have more of those wild raspberries on both sides, which seems happy. Sorry, mosquitoes everywhere. And then followed by combo Asian pear. Seems very healthy and happy. And then that one has Boyne raspberry on the left and heritage raspberry on the right. This would be a honey locust. And then at the end here we have pink lady blueberry, and on that side here hardy blue blueberry. This is a Stella cherry tree. Seems to be doing fairly well. This is the 3-tier apples. These are regular apples. We have Honeycrisp, Macintosh, Fuji, Brayburn, Granny Smith, and Buckeye Gala. Apparently the Macintosh very disease prone in this area, so we'll see how they do. And here we have Haskap, Mr. and Mrs. And then finally, we have Chester Blackberry and Yellow Raspberry, followed by a Blark Tartarian Cherry Tree. So we'll see how they do this year. And then at the end here would be a honey locust. Let's get these trees protected with the hardware cloth. And I also have some T-posts that I'll eventually install so that they are not damaged this winter. Change of plan, decided to bend it the other way. Need more room. You can see how well cardboard works because this tree and these two shrubs did not get cardboard, only the wood chips, versus these guys that got the cardboard and the wood chips. You can see that where the cardboard is, nothing's growing through. There's a bit over there because there's no cardboard underneath, but they're not competing against anything over here. So cardboard is doing its job very well. I mean, the wood chips did help, but it's like 3 times better when there's cardboard. Now what I'll do is I'll come back and I'm going to water it and we should be good to go. All done putting the cages, protecting the trees, so hopefully there will be no rodent damage or anything of that kind. I'm very happy it's windy today because the mosquitoes are absolutely annoying and massive, even covered in bug spray and this mosquito repellent fabric. What I'll do now is I'm going to give the trees and the shrubs a good watering, and from there, if you've seen in the previous video, I am working on a solution to bring water here so that I can at least use a garden hose, because right now I have some 55-gallon drums with a regular watering can and I just have to walk the whole distance and ferry the water back and forth, which is not ideal. Otherwise, everything now has cardboard wood chips. Eventually, I want to put more wood chips, cover the entire aisle, ideally 6 inches of wood chips. I just don't have that much available right now. And we'll let them grow and monitor and see how they do. And then I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.